Our next speaker is Rashid Omar Al Ali, who is a 17-year-old Emirati student passionate about learning and raising awareness around the effects of screen addiction. Curious about how technology impacts our brains, habits, and relationships, Rashid is on a mission to try and help others get to know and be informed about the dangers of brain rot, which is a silent struggle many face today. At TEDx ENS Sharjah Youth, he is going to share his insights and hopes to inspire change in how we use our screens and value our time. Please give it up for Mr. Rashid Omar.
You scroll and scroll and scroll, diving daily into an endless loop of trivial content. You sail aimlessly from post to post. In the end, nothing changes, except the number of hours that have passed, taking up a lot of your time. The time that you wasted on Snapchat, TikTok, and Instagram. To the extent that it is impossible for a day to pass without you browsing one of them. And the problem is that you only watch trivial content. Brain rot is not a new word. It was first used in 1854 by Henry David Thoreau in his book Walden. And it has resurfaced after Oxford named it Word of the Year 2024. The situation has become so serious that everything you suffer from, lack of concentration, low self-confidence, isolation, and all the distraction and failure are due to addiction to screens. Are we in a silent epidemic? And what should you do to save your brain before it's too late? These are just a few of the many questions you should ask yourself. Statistics from Comparitech, compiled by Rebecca Moody, show that you spend approximately 6 hours daily on average behind screens, whether on a phone, a television, or any other device. And if I asked you, and you answered me honestly, what percentage of useless content do you watch daily? Is it 50% useless, 50% meaningful, or 90% useless, 10% meaningful? Which of the two answers is closer to you? The second one. And logically, without statistics, if it were 90% meaningful content, we would be in a better place than we are now, right? Anyway, our minds are not designed to handle the huge amount of nonsense. The situation is like reading a book in a dark room with flickering light, where many words quickly appear and disappear without you being able to focus or even understand. And this is what happens to your brain with continuous scrolling. Brain rot is a term that has started to be used in a comedic way. But this term is far from a joke. Every time you watch a silly clip, you will continue watching it unconsciously. The reason you continue watching it is the increase in dopamine in your brain, the pleasure hormone. And then you swipe up on the screen, and another similar clip appears. Your dopamine levels rise again, and then they drop, and then the screen is raised again. And so it goes on. This is the core of the cycle, and the reason for all the sadness we feel in our lives. The rise and fall in the dopamine levels you have disturb the areas responsible for decision-making and self-control in your brain. And then you start making bad decisions, and many things go wrong in your life. And you think they are the right actions. And then you might say, I'm a failure, I'm unsuccessful, or I'm unlucky. But the truth is that your brain is rotten and not working properly because of the amount of nonsense you watch daily. And if you continue as you are, you will become addicted. How many of us constantly check our phones craving the next dose? The idea that you're an addict can be commonly found in kids whose parents allow them to use screens for a long time. Notice the amount of crying and rage once they're taken away of those screens. Do you think this matter is normal and doesn't need attention? It's important for us to distinguish that they are in a state of brain rot. And there's a scientific word known as iPad Kids. The quick solutions for parents today is to just give their kids an iPad to keep them busy. Many children are no longer able to exist in the real world. They require continuous impulses, changes in colors, and bright signals, like most channels designed today to maintain a child's attention. But what is the child learning? In the end, nothing. They just become more and more attached to and addicted to that screen. And the important question is, who are the people raising the next generation of humans? Unfortunately, we are infected with brain rot. So what do we expect from our children? When comparing generations, we notice screen addiction is on the rise between the millennial generation and Generation Alpha. And the issue doesn't stop at addiction. Take confidence, for example. It starts by you comparing yourself to celebrities and what they post on their accounts, and wondering why their lives seem better than yours. And the truth is their lives are better because they steal your time with meaningless content. And you have no idea what you gain from it. They profit by you watching them buy and achieve their dreams. And you just become more and more lacking in self-confidence, feeling like a failure and declining mentally. Now, I want you to imagine how many people don't spend much time behind screens. People that prefer physical paper and books over digital devices. They don't have any social media, except maybe for WhatsApp, which they use to communicate with people through it. But they would rather have real-life conversations instead of a digital one. These people are usually successful in life, probably married with kids and have a fantastic career. And I'm not saying you should completely quit social media, as the social aspect must be there, but at least don't share everything about your life online, because the reason is primarily you and what you publish of nonsense, and the reason is also you and what you watch of nonsense. Enough with the negativity. Solutions to this are like a person suffering from addiction to narcotics, and we must treat it. So the simple question is, what is the first step we should take? And the simple answer is, we should stop using screens. For example, if a person is suffering from addiction to narcotics, they are placed in a facility until they can control it and rid their bodies of all those toxins. So how can we cure your addiction to screens when we cannot control the source of the addiction, which is the screen? Therefore, to escape from brain rot, you must possess strong willpower. I recommend reading Dopamine Nation. It's a book authored by Anna Lemke, and I found solutions to this without needing external forces like therapy. Solution number 1 is material strategies. It involves setting up material barriers to prevent you from accessing any screens. For example, you could give your phone to your mother and tell her she can't give it back to you unless it's extremely important. Solution number 2 is time strategies. It involves setting up certain times for screen use. For example, you could say, I'm going to use my phone after I finish studying. And the last solution, and the toughest out of all. In this strategy, you're not just going to keep the phone or the screen away from you. You're going to stay away from anything that might provoke the desire for it. I recommend reading the entire book. It will help refresh your mind. My brothers and sisters, God created us in the best form, and He gave us this brain to preserve and use in a way that pleases Him. Restoring mental clarity is not just a responsibility towards ourselves, but it is a responsibility before God and to our kids and the generation after us. So let's take one step towards change today. Let's fix ourselves and restore strength to our minds and purify them. Thank you so much.